I'm just going to tell you some psychology things that are on my mind. I'm not a therapist. I don't do therapy. I'm a psychologist, so I'm trained to provide therapy. But just like you might understand technical analysis, but not be very good at scalping, it's kind of like that. I'm not interested in providing therapy. So that's not my forte. However, I really love understanding and thinking about behavior and how our brain works and how that connects to everything that we do. Even though I understand psychology very well, it doesn't mean that I always do everything right, even from a psychological standpoint. I hope that makes sense. But so let me just share some of my reminders that I'm going through for myself. We have this triad of, start with behavior. So behavior, when we're talking about trading psychology, behavior is a piece of it. A lot of times in the trading space, when people are talking about trading psychology, they focus on two things. They say, oh, if you want to improve your trading psychology, you need to get disciplined and you need to get consistent. And that's really tricky because if you're not disciplined and you're not consistent, how do you get that way? At least that's what I always think. What's the solution? So sometimes people will delve into talking about emotions. You got to manage your emotions. The element that they skip. Anyone who talks about trading psychology or any psychology who isn't talking about your thinking is missing a major piece. Major piece. And the reason is because, yes, your emotions impact your behavior. That's true. If you're feeling angry, you're probably going to cuss or be rude to somebody, or, maybe you bottle it up, whatever it is for you. So your emotions are going to impact your behavior. Maybe you have to go quiet because if you say something, it'll go. But your behavior also impacts your emotion. Right? So what you do impacts how the emotional experience that you have. But super important is also that your behavior impacts how you think, and your thinking impacts how you behave. This is really important for us traders, really important. And the reason is this relationship between behavior and thinking is super important because right now, if I am struggling, my thinking is going to be impacted. Maybe I'm doing all the right things, but my trades are going poorly. That's going to impact how I think. And also a piece of this is belief. And by beliefs, I don't mean like religious beliefs, political beliefs, any of that kind of thing, but beliefs about myself as a trader, beliefs about the market, beliefs about trading, that kind of thing. Again, all related to your thinking. So how you think is going to impact how you behave, and how you behave is going to impact how you think. That is the difficulty if you are struggling. So this is really important. The relationship between our thoughts and our behaviors. Also super important is to keep in mind that our thinking impacts our emotions and our emotions impact our thinking. These go together. So emotions are automatic, out of your control. These are physiological reactions. You cannot control your emotions. You can learn to manage your emotions. So when you're experiencing an emotion, you can manage it. You can preemptively prepare for dealing with emotion. If you know that you're going to be in a stressful situation, such as trading, you can take actions ahead of time to prepare yourself, to prepare your body to handle those emotions. But emotions are automatic and natural. In fact, there was a study done that showed that high-level traders still have emotions when they trade. They experience the same physiological responses. So an emotion is a physiological change in your body. It can create chemical, even structural changes in your brain. You cannot stop an emotion. If emotion happens to you or you experience emotion, you cannot stop it. You can learn to manage it. You can use techniques to manage emotions, but you cannot control or prevent emotions. You can deny them, right? But that doesn't help you, doesn't serve you. But they are 100% out of your control. The reason that we focus on your thinking and your beliefs, anytime you hear me talking, this is what I'm going to be focusing on. And this is what I personally have to get after myself, and really focus on your thinking and your beliefs. And why? Because your thoughts and your beliefs are 100% within your control. your control. You have 100% control over your thoughts and your beliefs. That doesn't mean that you won't ever slip up and get the wrong belief or the wrong thought and take a step back. If you're struggling, we are caught in an issue with our thoughts, with our beliefs. Our behaviors may have changed. That's true. Our emotions ebb and flow. They come and go. They're not who we are, but they're part of our experience. But our thoughts are what is different. Our thoughts are what we can control. That also impacts our risk. So risk is a big part of trading. There's only 3 elements of trading. You have your strategy. These are the 3 M's. Sometimes that's called a method. So your strategy, money management, this is your risk. And then you have your mindset. And they all go together. Most people focus on method. And if you get in trouble, if you're struggling or getting in trouble with your trading, what are you going to focus on? Even me, the other day, I caught myself struggling. And what did I go back to do? I'm going to back test. I'm going to look into my strategy more. That's where our attention goes. When reality is these two are strongly correlated, right? They really go together quite a bit. They're not the same. But risk management and mindset are highly, highly correlated. And your method is just a piece of it. Because how your mind is, how your trading psychology is going to impact how much you risk. And so really focusing on these 2 areas is important, again, because not only can you control your thoughts 100% are within your control, but also your risk is totally within your control. No one tells you how much to risk. That is totally up to you. Now, of course, there are parameters on how much you're allowed to risk if you're trading for a prop firm, or even if you're trading your own money. After you get to zero, you're done. So there are restrictions on what you can risk, but how you determine your risk is 100% within your control. Is feeling kind of thinking? That's a really good question. So feeling is kind of like your experience of emotion. So with emotions, there's only a handful of primary emotions. Joy, happiness, that's a primary positive emotion. And then the rest are kind of like what we think of as negative emotion. Fear, anger, sadness, and then surprise and disgust. How you feel kind of includes your body sensation, your interpretation. Emotion is a physiological response, so it can be measured externally. Someone else can measure your emotion. How you interpret that is different. So feeling is kind of incorporates a little bit of thought and emotion.